minutes. So please, first, raise your right hand if you ever get up in the middle of the night thinking of a bully or difficult people. Okay, your left hand if you get up a few minutes later thinking, what am I going to say to this person? Raise your left hand. Now I want you to say, you bet Joyce, and give yourself a round of applause if you want to learn how to get a better night's sleep. And also, well, I'm not done yet. And also, how to kick conflict to the curb so that you can get that respect you deserve. If so, I want to hear that. Well, I coach people how to protect themselves from bullies. And this is a new program. This is the newest program that I've added about 2 years ago, because my clients were calling me and saying, Joyce, we don't know how to deal with them. We know we have to, but we don't know what to do. So my first gig dealing with bullies was with a fire department. And I found out after reading a research paper from over 10,000 firefighters that leaders don't do anything. No surprise, right? Leaders don't do anything. So it really goes along with what I'm seeing as patterns when I'm embarking on this new topic of mine, that either leaders don't know how, they are the problem, or they just kick it to the curb that they don't do anything. So back to the firefighters, when we got together, one of the firefighters who was a bully got up. What are you talking about here, folks? Why are you taking this so seriously? We're just joking when we kid you. Well, this person said this. I sat back and the symphony just took over. People got up and said, yeah, maybe you think it's just a joke, but you know, after a while, it's not funny. And what I got through to them, and this was huge, is I said that sarcasm, when it's done over and over and over, is a form of bullying. We can't allow that to happen. So one of the firefighters said, you know, I've got to do something about this. And so they decided on their own to confront each other. And I'm going to tell you towards the end exactly what they put into their code, which hopefully you can do too. So the firefighters, they ended up by saying, you know, we joined the department because we want to help people. Why did you join if you want to put us down? And that started a tremendous conversation, because bullies who thought they were funny learned that they weren't. Now, am I going to say that they were all cured? Of course not. But was there tremendous improvement? Absolutely. So, today we're going to talk about 3 things. Important information about bullies, adding triggers so you can protect yourself, and at the end, I'm going to tell you some strategies that I personally use in my own life. Yes, I've had bullies too. This is where I want everyone to say, oh no, you don't, Joyce. Matter of fact, how many people, if so, say, oh yeah, that's me. How many of you have experienced, or you are experiencing, some kind of bully in your life now or in the past? If so, say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I know why we're doing this. Okay, so I work with clients who think that they're victims, and they can't do anything about it. And for those of you who know me, know that I'm not a mild and meek woman. So when I hear someone say, oh, I can't really do anything, this person's bigger than I am, I get on their case. And I say that there are no victims without volunteers. And I do mean that, because I was a victim at one time. So Martin Luther King, we all quote Martin Luther King Jr. Well, this is the one that I've used many times, including in front of you. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Isn't that powerful? Doesn't that say something? So to new information about bullies, I have to say a disclaimer. Many of you have heard me before, And you've heard me talk about be direct with respect and making conversations safe. Throw that out the door on Telegraph. It doesn't work with a bully. What we have to do is bully the bully. And some of you are not gonna agree with me. And you can talk to me afterwards, not during the presentation, just because of the time limit. All I need to tell you is once you bully the bully, if you choose to do it, you're not gonna be fun anymore, right? To bully, and they're gonna go to somebody else. So they reject all this good stuff that us communication strategists talk about. They don't care about winning. They don't care about being fair. They don't want, they do care about winning, excuse me. That's all they care about. I wanna roll you down. I don't wanna hear your nice stuff. And I know this firsthand because before I started doing research and work with clients, I had a couple male friends who always teased me. And I thought, I have that kind of personality. I'm easy to tease, I get it. I have a sense of humor and I do really ridiculous things. And which some of you have already called on me tonight. Thank you very much, Jennifer and Denise. So, but after I thought about it, I said, wait a minute, sarcasm, when it's done over and over, is a form of bullying. So all of a sudden I said, no more Mrs. Nice Joyce. And I'm not going to do, because I don't want you to fall asleep, I'll tell you towards the end exactly what I did. So I had a client that called me 2 weeks ago, and she said, Joyce, my doctor really thinks it's a good idea that I'm working with you. I said, well, I like your doctor, that's great, why? This is a true story. This is what she heard from her boss the day before she called me. She was in a meeting, and this is what the boss says. I'm not rude. You're just insignificant. Oh. Yes. Oh, wow. So I figured this is a good time to talk to her about bullies. So we've got handouts. I'm going to tell you one thing. We're not going to read every word. This is when I usually get a standing ovation. So bullying is a form of violence. Bullies don't have to throw a single punch to do lasting damage to another person's health. Bullying is experienced by more than 1/3 of the U.S. workforce. Bullying is 4 times more prevalent than illegal harassment. 40% of targets never tell their employees because they don't want to be bullied. They don't want to say, oh my God, you take things too seriously. What? Just chill a little bit. Well, that conversation has to stop. Because if only one person says somebody is bullying me, okay, maybe they do have a psychological problem, I'm not saying, but many times they don't. And they have enough nerve to say that someone did this to me. So it's sabotage over a significant amount of time. It's verbal abuse. It's all about the personal agenda. And I'm going to tell you, and this is what because I really dove inside myself, why are these 2 guys bullying me? I'm tougher than their wives, and I'm not saying that, I'm not bragging, I can't help it. I am who I am. We all who we are. I wasn't always like this. Life made me this way. And I'm very happy for my past because of that. So who gets targeted? People get bullied because the bully is jealous of you. And this is going to be hard for some of you to think about because you may feel like a victim. Are you more popular? Are your skills better? Are you more sociable? Do you have a sense of integrity? These are all things that the bully is going to target you if you are not strong enough to fight him or her. So the next page, I'm not going to go over the last part, but how to change a bullying environment, the top part. Create an anti-bullying policy. Define it and declare it unacceptable. Make it enforcement procedures. Intervene. Start documenting. What can be done? And for those of you that are leaders, that the rest of this page 2 is for you. It's how to just you can meet with the bully just informally, then if that doesn't happen, you have another meeting. So that's what that page is about. So, we talked about some new information about bullies. Now let's talk about triggers. I love triggers because triggers are going to protect you from reacting to those horrible people that push you and have a good time putting you down. So, can we talk?
Yes.
What else have I been doing, right? So, I added triggers to my life about 5 years ago because a lot of people push me the wrong way. Okay, I don't like mediocre people that just get by. I don't. I have a problem with them. I don't like people who are, who are bullies, who scream on people because of their looks, their religion, their sexual preference, the color of their skin. I have a real hard time. Anybody relate me with this? Yeah. Well, triggers. There's so many people like that in the world. I was starting to get sick because I was getting mad at the world. Anger issues were starting to come out. And I realized when I talked to a coach, he said, Joyce, you gotta do something. That's when it dawned on me. Those people are gonna be who they are. Because of who they are, I have to stop taking it either personal or I can't save the world. I know that's what we try to do. Not even try, we do save the world, this group. We do. And sometimes we have to really protect ourselves. So when it comes to triggers, getting mad at a person who he or she is just as crazy as getting mad at a chair for being a chair. Okay, would you like me to explain a little bit what I mean by that? So, a person does irritating things because of who they are, not because of you. Yes, they may pick on you as the target, but once you're no fun anymore, they're gonna find someone else. So triggers are very important. And one of the handouts on page 3, you talk about we need to recognize when you get angry and get into the gap. The gap is a time when you don't push back. Is there anybody who, when someone pushes you, you push back and you get defensive? Anyone, or am I the only one with anger issues? Oh my God, my dear coach over there, Cindy, her eyes just popped out. Okay, so we have to separate ourselves from criticism. It usually, I say usually, sometimes it does have to do with us. It usually has nothing to do with us. And that's something very strong for us to realize when we feel like a victim. It's not. Now, we talked about some new information about bullies. We talked about the triggers. Now come the strategies. And these are the things that they're not in your notes because I just added them a couple days ago. And the first one, which is, I talked about it, we've got to change our attitude. Instead of complaining about bullies to our friends, sit down with your friend and figure out a plan. It's as easy as that. So, Odetta, American singer and actor, said, the better we feel about ourselves, the fewer times we have to knock someone down in order to feel tall. Wouldn't you love to give that expression to someone who's knocking you down? Say, oh God, I know you're really an insecure 3-year-old dressed up in a suit, because that's really what they are. They just, I mean, they didn't have the right mother or father, who knows. So that's number 1, change your attitude. Number 2, this is where I have people writing notes. Use verbal aikido. I have talked about that before. This one I want you to keep, don't throw it out and telegraph. Verbal aikido. Pull back, don't push back. So easy. You know, why are you always late? I'm not always late versus always late. Here are some examples. Sue, a client of mine, said during a meeting, a one-on-one, when Beth, the bully, started complaining. Sue said, Beth, don't even start, and she walked away. This is where some of you are gonna say, I couldn't do that. Well, do you wanna sit there and take this stuff this negativity from her, that as she goes over and over, that's one way. Now I actually use that on some of my friends. It works. Another person said to the bully, do you really want, and this was in the middle of a meeting with other people, do you want to repeat that? I'm not sure that I heard that. That really pushes you, so you pull back and you're putting that person on high alert. A teenager, because I'm just starting to work with teenagers, I'm so excited about this, because I'm definitely part little girl, aren't we all, or little guys, and a very vertically challenged little girl had a real problem because a bully at the lunch table kept on saying to her, hey shrimp, give me your sandwich. So when we started working, we experimented with a lot of things. Finally, this is the one that worked. Okay, go pick on someone who's not half your size. And everybody at the lunchroom table gave this kid a round of applause because this person bullied the bully. Yes, it's awesome, and yes, some of you are saying I couldn't. Another client of mine who has a husband who always criticized her for her dinner and for the meals. So she said, you know, if you're so unhappy about the meals, why don't you start helping me plan them next week? He shut up, he started, right? I mean, and this is not an anti-guy thing. This could be a woman saying the same thing, right? Right, Larry? It's not about you. Okay. I already talked to him, he's a good guy. So, okay, the third part. You had Jeanette Gadati speak last month, or a couple months ago. She talked about, for those of you who weren't here, body language. Well, let me tell you about body language and bullies. If you're showing that you're meek and your voice is really up and your eyes are down here, you're going to be a great target. I want everyone to stand up right now. Oh yeah, I know, you've got your, I'm going to eat my dessert afterwards too, but eat your dessert, but I actually want you to separate your legs, and I want you to open up your arms, and I want you to puff out your chest, and I want you in a strong, strong voice, I want you to say, I know who I am. I know who I am. I even want that stronger. I know who I am. I know who I am. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. Okay, you're going to think this. You're not going to really say this. Okay, give yourself a round of applause. But I'm very serious.
I want to say.
Stand
I
up.
might say.
Yes, please. Oh my God, I lost them. Okay, so part of body language is to stand up. But make sure, make sure your shoulders are back, your chest is puffed out, so your shoulders are not like that, and with the legs apart and the arms apart, you're not crossed over. This stuff works. That's all I got to say. And the last part, I'm actually going to read, because this is what the firefighters put on, and I thought they did such a good job. Sometimes we may need a third party. Is there anybody here who has ever used a third party for a bully? Okay, so afterwards, I'd like to hear about that. So keep a factual journal of the behaviors, and I could even type these out and send them to Barb if you want for next month. I could type some of these things that are not in your notes. Okay. Keep a factual journal of the behaviors being exhibited towards you and those you observe. Keep files or memos or emails that you receive from the bully. Document for HR or management. You have the power to change. If you are a leader, prevent retaliation. And it backfired a little bit for my firefighters because people were starting to tease people who came forward. And finally, they realized that in their code of conduct, we can't do this anymore. Make it clear that anyone reporting the behavior will be supportive, have a clear process. Is this stuff making sense, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, First of all, I'd like to know, like I call this the recap portion. Is there a few of you tell us what spoke to you? What message is going in your mind that you're really excited about? Let's hear a few of you. Maybe one from this table, that table, and that table. Please.
I think being in the power position, I see this a lot. I talk to my mom all the time. I said, don't walk out of the store with your head down, not knowing your surroundings, because most people that get attacked or get their purse stolen or whatever, or get bullied are, you know, like you said, closed in. They're not aware of what's going on around them. And you look right people in the eye, whether you know them or not, and they're not going to approach you. So just be more aware of what's around you and be in the power position.
Yes.
And people won't bother you. Usually.
A round of applause. I saw you over there. Yes.
I think probably the strongest part is when you quoted Martin Luther King Jr. about being silent. Because sometimes I can be that person that is most, not always. I used to be a very strong person, but then after a while, sometimes, you know, people get to you and they'll keep repeatedly over and over and again, trying to pound you down.
Yeah.
But being silent is not an option.
Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Sending you strength.
Yes.
City council elect to be.
Yeah.
Just one more thing. I really
Good motivator,
encountered
though.
the sarcasm piece last week. I saw a book that I love, and there were extra copies, and this was in my office. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to read this tonight. And someone in the office said, oh, don't try to read it all at once. Just put it on your nightstand and read it like you read your Bible. And I said, you know what? I don't just read my Bible when I go to bed. I study my Bible and I live the Word of God. Wow. Now, was that powerful?
That it was. And even her body, did you see her body? Her eyes spoke. She scared me. Yes, she scared me. Okay. But that's the first I'd never bullied Martha. So, how many people here would like to still keep this momentum going and still stay in touch with me? Not just once a month. Well, there's a few ways. Number one, you could put your card in here, and if you want me to call you either about the coaching that I'm going to tell you really briefly about, or some of the workshops I do, just put your card in here, say call, and I will. So you can do that. The other ways, and there are on the back of your handout, they're showing you if you go, oh, first of all, on page 4, there's all kinds of books. I'm not talking about books, Martha. A lot of these are old. I'm going to tell you right now. They're old. I don't really care. The message is still there when it comes to some of the things I talk about conflict. And then page 5 is all about me. If you want to go to sleep, please read that. Okay. So, 2 places which you can go to, either communication skills at work. This is on the back of the handout. If you close it and put it, oh, yeah, Barbara, if you want to hold up, yay, the back one.
Back yellow.
Yeah, back yellow. You could go to either communicationsskills@work.com, and that's where you can have a free communication assessment to show how your communication influences your success at work. And I get back to you. First of all, it comes back with your score, and then because of UWI, I know your names. I will get back to you with a personal email. And then you can also find out about some of the coaching that you can come up afterwards and talk to me about. Then you can go to joyceweiss.com, and that's where you can really stay in touch with me once a week. It's a very short article. It's my blog, Communication Skills at Work. It's either an article or I'm doing more videos. Videos or a poster all about conflict, and I even turn it into how to become a happier person. I mean, from conflict to happy. You think I'm conflicted? Okay, and then of course you can find your voice with Joyce by finding out how else I can help you. So, and it's funny that you brought up the quote, because I would like to go first circle, and I'm going to say half of it, and I want you to say it with me in your real strong anti-bullying way. Our lives begin to end.
Our lives begin to end.
The day we become silent.
The day we become silent.
About things that matter.
About things that matter.
Yes. So please remember all of these skills that we talked about that you now have in your bully toolbox. Number one, understand your role with your bully. And this is the first step. Understand your role. You're a victim, fine. Stop the pity party, figure out a plan. Number two, definitely add triggers to your life. You're gonna love these people that drive you crazy. You're gonna just think of them as cheers. And number three, definitely think about your body language, your verbal aikido, and figure out, some of the things that I talked to you, that these, maybe they're a little more assertive than you may be. You don't have to be a strong man or woman to use them. It's just something different, and maybe you'll get better results. And I loved coming back here. I have spoken here many times. I am a Boomerang member, for those of you who are guests and don't know me. I belonged here years ago, and I came back, and I'm not leaving because you're in my heart, and hopefully I can help out also with some of the skills. And it was John Lennon, I just saw this quote, who said, "Being honest may not get you a lot of friends, but it will get you the right ones." So I want to thank you so much for listening, and I love EWI and guests. I'm so glad you came here. You've got any questions, you've got some wonderful people here to answer all your questions. Yes?
Tell me about the books you have up there.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, I don't have them yet, so I want
Well,
to
she
get
can
these
talk
books.
to them, but just let me thank Joyce
Okay.
for coming and being with us and supplying us with wonderful strategies, and let's please put them to good use. And she is going to remain for a while. She's brought books with her, and she will autograph them for you and answer any questions that you may have. And if you feel that it's pertinent that we all should hear the answers to that, she may take a moment and answer those questions. But again, we do want to thank her, and if you're serious about your careers, she's given us wonderful tools and strategies. Her toolbox is excellent that we can use to, further our advancement or just take control of our lives. Thanks, Joyce.
thank you. Thank you. You can definitely look at the books afterwards, and I'm here to answer any questions. Thanks.